Happy Thursday, family, and welcome to One Take Live. I'm Monica May. Let me get that out of the way right there. You can see my producer's not here, so when you have to do things on your own, you just manage to do it. But anyway, happy day after St. Patrick's Day. Hope everyone enjoyed their holiday, and you're enjoying this if it's spring break for you as well. We are still in Women's History Month, and one of the things that we also wanted to target is that this is National Nutrition Month. And where I'm from, in Orlando, Florida, there are only 3 Black nutritionists that I know about, and they together have a fantastic community-based organization, and it is called HEBNI Nutrition. And we have one of the nutritionists with us on tonight, and her name is Roniece Weaver. How you doing, my sister?
How are you, Monica? It's great to see you again.
Oh, it is so good.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. The only reason we don't have Roniece and Elaretha on is that you and I just had a very recent conversation in the parking lot. I was dropping off something there. Yeah. And it was so cool. It's amazing how you reconnect with people. And I just said, you know what, wait a second. This is a conversation for One Take Live. We're going to get to some various things during this 15-minute moment. But HEBNI Nutrition was started. Why? But first of all, I wanted to ask you, what made you become a nutritionist?
Well, when I was 17 years old, my father was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and I understood the struggle that he faced with living with diabetes, changing his dietary habits, and how was he going to live a productive life. And he struggled and he felt alone. And so as a family, we all decided that we're going to go through this journey with you and change our eating habits with him so he can live a productive life. And that's how the story got started.
You have a twin sister. She's a nutritionist also?
Yes, she is. She's actually at the West Palm Beach Veterans Hospital down in West Palm.
Okay. And then the connection that you have with 2 other Black nutritionists, how did that start?
Fabiola and Elaretha and I met at a local dietetic association meeting, and we talked until the moon came up, until we couldn't even see each other outside in the dark. And we all had the same chief complaint that how are we going to serve our community with culturally sensitive nutrition ed materials because there were none. And we decided to bond together and see what we could do to change the health and makeup of our community one day at a time. And 25 years later, we're still doing it.
I was going to ask, it has been 25 years. I read your bio. It's very extensive. They have written books, dietary books, soul food cooking books.
I would have never guessed that.
Right. Who would have thunk any of these things? The soul food pyramid. Let's talk about that.
When we first formed our organization, we said all we wanted to develop was culturally sensitive nutrition ed materials that look like us. Because I'll tell you a story. Last week, someone sent me some tear sheets to give out to our community, and it was focused on portion control, doing the hand jive method, the fist as your portion, the finger, the thumb, and it was all white hands. And I said, oh my God, after 25 years, I still got to educate people that don't send me stuff that's not culturally relevant. I cannot give them a tear sheet full of hands that don't look like my hands. And so we actually created our own hand jive method portion control sheet last week. So we still have more work to do.
And that soul food pyramid, was that the same way? Because let's talk about what that pyramid looks like.
The soul food pyramid was a product developed by USDA, but it did not have culturally relevant foods that people in the South eat, like collard greens, mac and cheese, fried chicken. And we wanted to address the Southern diet. And then when you fast forward it to up to 2008, under the Obama administration, USDA went to the My Plate. So we immediately converted to the soul food plate because we really want our community to understand how to put that food on the plate in the right place on the plate.
And you have the hand and you do it, and you teach even kids how to portion out their food better.
Yeah, with your hands. I always say the palm of your hand is your hand, not your baby daddy hand. The, the one they hate the worst. They don't like the one finger rule. You know, when we go to a black restaurant, we get key lime cake. It's as big as five fingers,
Yes.
and or that Patty LaBelle pie. So we have a
Mhm.
dessert rule. It's got the cake has to be the width of one finger, and the pie has to be width of two fingers.
Whoa. And that's something
Yeah,
we need to really, really practice. And,
yeah,
on top of that, in most Black communities around the country, because we're being seen around the country, we live in food deserts still. In
yes,
2021, we still live in food deserts. So, Ebony Nutrition also developed their Fresh Stop bus. And
yes.
that, talk about the
The
motive behind
Fresh Stop bus, we are actually celebrating 7 years with the Fresh Stop bus,
it.
and the Fresh Stop bus has two babies now. She's got two smaller pop-up buses that we use, but the Fresh Stop bus is a 40-foot retired Lynx city bus that was donated to our nonprofit organization, and we converted it into a mobile produce market on wheels that goes to underserved populations that where communities live in food deserts or food swamps. If we are going to change the landscape of our community and improve the health, you have to bring the produce to them because everybody doesn't have access. And it's about the social determinants of health and increasing health equity, health literacy, and the ability to access healthy options.
Mhm.
And so I saw that study written by a black dietitian out of Louisiana, and that's where we came up with the concept. And I said, it is too hot in Florida to do this on a pickup truck. And that's what she did in Louisiana. And I said, wow, a Lynx bus sure would be nice.
Wow.
And the CEO was African American, and it was a 20-minute cold call ask. But that gentleman believed in what we were doing, and it was an easy ask, and he gave us the bus. And
That
the
was
rest is
Edward.
history.
That
Yeah.
brother's name was Edward, and he's now moved on to a different job and doing very well. So,
Hmm.
he did a lot for our community while he was here.
Hmm.
Roniece, when you were on your campus and going through the classes for to become a nutritionist, did you ever feel like, oh man, I can't do this? This is math.
Oh,
I can't do this. I don't want it. Did you ever throw up your hands?
yeah, I did. And actually, it's unfortunate that our professor said, you're not going to make it. That's when you get the kick in the gut. And when our counterparts tell us, this is not for you. And instead of encouraging us and providing resources to help us understand the book work, the science, and the methodology, they give up on you quickly. But God wasn't done with me. And I
Hmm.
will tell you, it brings a tear to my eye sometimes because she later came back to my twin sister and told her she'll never get a job in the VA hospital. And she's been in the VA hospital for 35 years.
You
She
see,
did apologize.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, when you talk about the things that have gotten in our way, the deterrents, the people, the professors, the community, sometimes even people that look like us, even when you are where you are today, what do you say to those people? Because it's not about the 90 boo boo. It's about look where we're going, people. You have helped create gardens in this community. You have
Mm-hmm.
taught people more about food. When you, Elaretha, and Fabiola started out, where was your first brick and mortar? Because now you're in the old Moncho bookstore. Where were
We
you before?
actually, our first office was the office space above Senator Geraldine Thompson's, the Wells Built Museum. We only had 500 square feet of space and one desk, one phone, and three chairs, and that was it. And we just continued to persevere, and we stayed there about 5 years. And we moved downtown to another building and stayed there only 2 years. And I will give Homer Hardish, one of the past county commissioners, much credit. He convinced us to come over to Marshall Bookstore and acquire the building because he taught me how to apply HUD requests, which is Community Development Block Grant dollars, to our
Mhm.
nutrition practice. And when you show to people who can open doors and open up pocketbooks and create a vision for you, and you sell it the right way, we were able to apply for community development block grants and got $250,000 to redevelop this building. So revitalization dollars applies to anybody if your message and your opportunity and your vision is going to be good for the common good of the community.
And so, with those revitalization dollars, you were able to refurbish a bookstore, y'all,
Yes,
into a full-fledged, you could have a cooking show in their facility now.
yes,
And
yes.
you have classes. I took a class on, I'm very transparent. I am type 2 diabetes and diabetic. And with Fabiola, I took that 6-week cooking class, which has now expanded to virtual lessons. And it's including exercise with it too. Let's talk about that.
Yes, we have Jay Rogan that comes up at 5 o'clock and he exercises with the participants, and Fabiola starts her class at 6 o'clock with the nutrition information because without nutrition and exercise, they both go hand in hand. It's 80-20. We got to create a balance. So the more we exercise, the more we can see balance, and the better we see our weight come down as well.
So when you are creating your books and your pyramids and just your products, period, what are some of the things that drive you, Roniece? What are the messages you want to deliver in terms of Black nutrition, Black excellence in terms of our health?
Well, I have a tagline that I love using, and I try to get people to focus on it. And if they think about it every day, it works. And I ask people, did you eat good today, or did you eat well? And we try to transpose those that same message into our books and our classes because it's not always about eating good. You can eat good going to Popeyes and Popeyes chicken and getting a biscuit and a chicken and chicken wings and coleslaw and sweet tea. That's eating good. But did you eat well? And eating well means healthy grains and leafy green vegetables, and eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and bringing about balance with exercise. That's doing well. And if we're going to see the reduction of diabetes and hypertension and heart disease in our community, we got to focus on eating well. And you can eat good at every blue moon. That's okay. I always say you can eat good for your birthday, New Year's, Christmas, anniversary, your child's graduation, and even your divorce. I'll give it to you for that. You can eat good, and you got it with that. But we gotta eat well. That's the key. And that's the biggest driver of our message because we only make up 2% of African American dietitians across the country. It's a high probability if you are sick, you won't see a Black dietitian that's going to educate you on what you need to eat. So I have to also teach my white counterparts how to be me. And sometimes that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Meaning going in to talk to Black people.
oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable. They don't want to have the conversation sometimes only because they don't know how. So
Mm-hmm.
I actually created a product line called Black Dietitians Matter because I want to be able to use it as a recruitment tool to get the next generation to be me. Because I only got 5, 10 good years left and I'm gonna hang it up. But who's gonna come behind me and be the next big Fabiola, the next big Roniece, and the next big Alaretha? We gotta pass it on and we gotta pay it forward.
So, do you do that by what? Talking to students on campuses who are in nutrition programs? How do you do that, Roniece?
I am a preceptor now to not only 2 universities. I'm also one at Advent Health here locally. I teach the interns how to be me and how to do culturally sensitive nutrition education. But I also talk to as many HBCU campuses and professors as I can, and I'm lining them up right now. I'm hitting Howard and Prairie View and all the HBCU campuses that have a nutrition program. It is my goal, if I can be an advocate on Capitol Hill, to get our legislators to pour in money in nutrition programming to see our Black dietitians complete a degree in food science and human nutrition. God's going to say, job well done.
Let me just share this one last point with you. There is a doula here, Jenny Joseph, a midwife here.
Yes, I know her well.
What I noticed is that she is part of a program developing doulas and will help them get through that training piece. Talk with her to see how she did that, so you all can have it's something named after you all, after HEBNI Nutrition, so that the legacy will continue.
Yes.
There is more to just eating than just eating good. You have to eat well. And that is the message that Roniece Weaver, 1/3 of the trio of super dietitians from HEBNI Nutrition, leaves us with this evening. I want to say thank you so much, Roniece, for being on with us this evening.
Oh, thank you.
Books, we've covered ways to catch up with you. We've covered the fact that HEBNI Nutrition is here locally, and we will allow people to reach back out to you for more information. Thank you so much for all you do in this community, all the sisters here do in this community. We love you guys so much, and it is because of you that we are learning to eat well, not just good.
That's right, my sister.
Have a wonderful evening, and thanks everyone for watching another edition of One Take Live. I'm Monica May.
Good night.